Hello everyone, this is Rebecca from Papeterie de Choix, and I'm here to do some tags on Tag Along Tuesday. So what I have here is some napkins adhered to fabric, and then I made tags out of that. And I'm not doing any real decorating because I'm letting the napkins be the decoration. The first thing I have is these two really thin, just plain cotton on the back, and it can be written on. This is pencil. This is a regular ballpoint pen. It don't work that well, but this is a gel pen. It works really good. So on the back of these, you can write, so you don't have to put paper unless you just want to. So there's a couple of these, and then there's, I think I did 5 of these, and I still have 3 more pieces of this napkin. It was huge, the big rectangles. So this, I decoupaged the napkin onto a canvas fabric that had some navy stripes on the back side. So I put a piece of paper, I put this down with a glue stick and then sewed around the edges and just put it in an eyelet with a little piece of jute. And so this is just plain tags with, paper napkin and a piece of cloth. Now, one of the keys, if you want to do this project, to me, the key for your fabric is some spray starch. That will, it puts the starch of the fabric, it stiffens it up so that it's easier to work with. I'm not necessarily recommending this brand, so hopefully, YouTube don't throw the video out because of it. But I use whatever I have, and this is what I had, so that's what I used. So what I'm going to do is just a really quick demonstration of how I would do my decoupage. Let me do that again, how I would do my decoupage, because I realized I was turning away when I said it. So I'm not going to use this one, I'm just going to do this as a demonstration, and then I'm going to carry on and do the tags. So I have already sprayed this little piece of cotton, soaked it twice with the spray starch, and as you can see, it's for as thin as it is, it's pretty stiff, and it is the same fabric that is on the back of these other 2 little tags. So what I do, just like really any other decoupage situation, you just start in the middle and work your way to the outside. Now I don't put the glue mixture down on the fabric first, because in this case the napkin is so thin it will soak right through, and it actually will soak through a little bit through the fabric and onto this towel underneath. So that's just how I would do it, and then I would set it aside, let it dry completely. Once it has dried, I iron it, and that helps reactivate the spray starch. And then I'll cut it, shape it, do whatever I want to do to it to get my tag out of it. Or if you could do a journaling card, it could be anything, but just if you're doing with a thin piece of 100% cotton, then most pens will write on it. So I'm just going to set this to the side. And it had little feet glued to it, and one of them still has some glue attached. Okay, so that's that. Let me just put my little brush down in a sandwich bag, and I just use it till it can't be used anymore. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take out this one that I'm going to work on first. And I did cut another piece of paper. Oh, here it is. And glue stick. So, don't run away now. So on this one, now I'm only putting the paper up to here, just because. No real reason, just because. Actually, I think it was the first one I had when I hadn't put the eyelet in, and before I decided to put paper on the back, so I just carried on. So all I'm doing here is just covering the, I guess I could come on up here since I actually have not put an eyelet in. But I'm not going quite to the outside because I am going to sew a zigzag stitch around the outside, and yes, it hit the floor. So the next thing I'm going to do is just kind of line it up a little bit. And now I'm going to put you on pause while I iron this so that the glue sticks completely. I'm going to trim it, and then I'm going to sew around the edges. So when I do that, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I have adhered the paper on the back, ironed it so it's stuck really well, sewed around the edges, and I'm getting ready to put a little hole in the top for the jute, and for that I use my silent setter because I could punch a hole through it with a regular hole punch, but it's difficult for the fabric to actually cut a clean hole. So I am going to use my silent setter, and I am going to get an idea where the middle is. So I have a quarter right here. It should be about right there. Might come up about right here actually. Okay. And so I'm just going to take it, push it like that. I think I might give myself just a little bit bigger spot. Okay. Now I've got all this, these little eyelets here. Now these are actually sewing eyelets, but that's okay, I can use them. They will work just as well for this project as they would if it was being put on something else, because it is fabric it's going into. And I think I need to make that hole just slightly bigger. There we go. I had a lighter green that I put on the other one, and I was hoping I had another one, but I don't. All I have is this kind of bright green. I suppose I could put one of these kind of brass colored ones on it. That's more gold. I was sort of set on the green one, but it's too bright. So I guess I'll do this. It's a little shiny, but at least it's not as bright. Okay. So we'll put that to the side. Now, another thing I use that anyone who sews will probably recognize is this little tool. Now, a lot of people have crocodiles and all such as that, but I sew. So there's no point in me going out and buying a tool to use that if I was sewing something that had an eyelet to go into it, that I would use it. So, see, it does exactly the same thing. It does what it's made for. So, now let me cut a little piece of jute with my handy dandy antique scissors I found. I use the jute in my paper crafts, but I also use it out in the garden. So I just tie it. I used to put it through and do the little loop, but I found that they tended to come out. So I started doing this, and I actually like it better. I think it has a better look. And if it comes in the front, I just sort of tilt it up so that that knot sits kind of right on the top. Okay, so that's that tag done. So now you have a tag that you can write on the back. Has a really pretty image on the front. Has some jute on the top. Now, we're going to do this one. Let me get my fabric scissors. Actually, I'll just use these little bitty ones here. Okay, for this, now, when I cut the napkin, it was a little, as my mama would say, side goggling, which means it's crooked. So I straightened it up with the paper cutter. So how I do this is I just fold the top together, give it a snip. Fold the bottom together, and I'm not folding this part, I'm just holding it enough so that I can, in this case, just round the corner and they both be the same. So what I'm going to do is just step over here and flatten it with the iron. And that's that. Then, because I like my measurements to be in the middle, I'm going to do just a real quick estimation of what that middle is. And I need half in this, and that's going to be about right there. And I'm going to take this little tiny hole punch. Now, a hole punch will punch through this really well. It's just like a thick piece of paper. And I'm going to put that there. So now cut me a piece of just cotton string. And put that through like, well, if I can get my fingers to work. And so just give it a little tie, make it a little bit snug. And then let's tie just a touch. Okay, and then I just cut it even, and that's it. Now, it might very well be that when I go to use this in a journal, I might ink the edges, but because this was a napkin with a white background put on a white piece of cloth, I might not. So I won't know that until I'm ready to use it. But this is our tags for today. Some fabric back napkins. So there's those three. And there's that one. Here's the one we just did. Here's some more out of the same napkin. You can see I had some yellow ones, which worked well with the yellow in there. And then the brass one. Here's the one light green one I had, and I had to use it because it's almost exactly the same color as the butterfly. And that one. So that's it for Tag Along Tuesday. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon.